power is not only about what you build but also about what you avoid. The 10th law of power is infection: avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. Misery is contagious, failure is contagious. Just as diseases spread from one body to another, so do emotions, attitudes, and fortunes. When you surround yourself with those who radiate negativity, you will absorb their misfortune. When you allow the unlucky into your circle, their chaos will become your chaos. The powerful understand this and they guard their environment with precision. They do not allow the virus of despair to enter. They recognize that energy is transferable. The mood of those around you shapes your outlook, and your outlook shapes your decisions. If you want strength, you must surround yourself with strength. If you want victory, you must avoid those whose lives are marked only by defeat. History is filled with examples of this law. Consider France in the 17th century. King Louis XIV, the Sun King, understood that misfortune was dangerous. He avoided sad, unlucky courtiers, for he believed their bad fortune would weaken his reign. Instead, he surrounded himself with charmers, with winners, with those who radiated vitality. His court sparkled with brilliance because he allowed no shadow of misery to linger. He became the center of gravity, and France under his rule became the most dominant power in Europe. Now look at rulers who ignored this law. The Russian Tsar Nicholas II allowed himself to be influenced by Rasputin, a man marked by chaos and scandal. Rasputin's aura of misfortune infected the throne. The Russian people grew restless, the monarchy collapsed, and Nicholas paid with his crown and his life. Misery entered his court and misery consumed it. Infection is not only about rulers, it is about us all. Imagine a man striving for success, yet every evening he sits with friends who complain, who speak only of what cannot be done, who mock ambition and feed doubt. Slowly his vision dims, his confidence erodes, their despair becomes his. He has not been defeated by his enemies but by his companions. He caught their infection. The weak underestimate the power of association. They believe they can remain untouched by the moods of others. But moods are stronger than reason. Negativity seeps into the mind like poison in water, once inside it spreads. That is why the powerful are ruthless in this matter. They choose carefully whom they allow close. They distance themselves from the perpetually unlucky, the perpetually bitter, the perpetually defeated. For these people do not simply suffer misfortune, they create it. Their energy shapes the world around them, and their world becomes your world if you stand too close. But understand this, to avoid the unhappy does not mean to despise them. Pity is not the same as power. You may feel compassion, but compassion does not require proximity. Keep your distance. Offer help if you must, but never bind your fate to those who cannot master their own. To tie yourself to a sinking ship is not kindness, it is suicide. And when you drown with them, they will not thank you, they will curse you for failing to save them. Protect yourself. Distance is not cruelty, it is wisdom. The powerful understand another truth: fortune too is contagious. Just as misery spreads, so does vitality, optimism, and success. If you surround yourself with those who rise, you too will rise. Their vision will sharpen your vision. Their courage will strengthen your courage. Their victories will multiply your own. This is not theft but alignment. Energy attracts energy. The law of infection is double-edged: avoid the unlucky but seek the fortunate. Draw close to those who radiate confidence, who overcome obstacles, who thrive where others despair. Their spirit will seep into you as surely as misery seeps from the unlucky. Consider the great conqueror Alexander. He did not waste time with the hesitant or the fearful. He surrounded himself with generals who shared his fire, who believed victory was inevitable. That belief became reality. His army, infected not by doubt but by certainty, conquered half the known world before he was 30. The lesson is clear: choose carefully what you absorb, for you cannot help absorbing it. This law also applies in subtle ways. It is not only about people, but about ideas, habits, even environments. If you dwell constantly in places of despair, your mind will reflect despair. If you consume endlessly the stories of failure, corruption, and weakness, you will believe the world is nothing but decay. If you surround yourself with chaos, your life will become chaos. Infection works through every channel. Protect your mind, protect your environment, protect your companions. Some will accuse you of coldness, they will say it is heartless to avoid the unlucky. But power is not about pleasing all. Power is about survival and victory. To chain yourself to those who drag you down is not nobility, it is folly. The strong save themselves first, for only then can they elevate others. If you fall into misery, you cannot lift anyone. Guard yourself from infection, and your strength may one day be a source of hope for others. But if you are consumed, you help no one. Beware especially of those who draw energy by draining others. Misery loves company. The unlucky crave listeners to their sorrows. They feed on attention. They will trap you in endless cycles of complaint, and soon their fate becomes yours. Break free before the infection takes root. The powerful cut such ties swiftly. This law is not about cruelty, it is about clarity. It is about recognizing that your life is shaped not only by your actions but by the currents around you. You cannot walk through a plague without risk. You cannot walk through fire without heat. The unhappy and the unlucky are plagues, they are fires. Step aside. Preserve your strength. In the end, power is not only what you build, but what you refuse to let touch you. The world is full of viruses, of despair, of weakness, of failure. The powerful create barriers. They guard their circle as they would guard their life. They allow in only those whose presence strengthens. They understand that fortune is contagious and that misfortune spreads faster than flame. They choose carefully, for choice is destiny. Avoid the unhappy and the unlucky, and you guard your fortune. Allow them close, and their ruin will become your own. That is the law, that is the wisdom of power, that is the meaning of Law 10.